when I saw YG come out.
Yeah,
I felt the knife. I felt the knife turn a little bit.
Just on a tech level, like X and Amazon are that's a whole
yeah,
that's a whole
apples and
nother
oranges.
beef level that's
apples
coming.
and oranges.
Shout out Glorilla. That mixtape is really hard. The girls and the guys were coming back this year. They said we still got something to say.
So, first day of summer. We are here.
Finally.
It feels like it if you're in New York, because this heat is no joke.
It is like 95 degrees outside.
Yeah,
Happy belated Juneteenth.
Yes, sir.
right,
Yes, sir.
that's because we were not working yesterday.
Not working. I know
Beautiful
that's
feeling.
right.
Being black.
Always a good feeling.
Being real proud.
Being proud.
Right.
Because last night was a hip-hop celebration. A celebration for LA.
A moment in history.
A moment in history. In case you guys missed it, Kendrick Lamar had the pop-out concert. That's what it's being deemed now. The pop-out concert for Juneteenth in LA. Star-studded. DJ Mustard, DJ Head, and of course Kendrick and friends. DJ Mustard brought out Tyler, the Creator, Steve Lacy, Ty Dolla $ign, Blast, Dom Kennedy, 310 Baby, and then Kendrick came through, Dr. Dre, the whole black hippie. He did Not Like Us five
freaking times.
and the whole LA
Ooh.
That's
on the stage.
Had the forum rapping for him.
yeah.
So I mean, there's not much I can say. I'm gonna leave the floor to you guys.
Why can't you say too much?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I forgot who we were talking to. We need to get the official. It's like the State of the Union. Like that's the State of the Union. Now we get the little the little response. We need to hear from the Six what the Six has to say about this.
Oh man.
Don't let that bullshit fool. It's not your. It's we know what his true colors, his true allegiance is.
You know what's funny? I was gonna wear my OVO shirt today.
Lord.
And just say, you know what? Fuck everybody. We're still here. We're still here. We're still repping.
Okay.
Repping what exactly?
I decided against that.
Okay.
All right.
Because what Kendrick did last night, it was just a masterclass. I can't even front on that. I thought from front to back, him performing Euphoria off rip just let me know the type of time he was on. And then to have Dr. Dre intro to Not Like Us. Yo, I got chills. I don't want to make this a whole Aubrey thing because I want to give Kendrick his flowers. This is a Kendrick thing, an LA thing more than it is a Drake thing. But what we saw last night will go down forever in hip-hop history as one of the best performances of all time to me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Like I was blown away off the fact that I will bring up Drake in this sense. When I saw YG come out,
Yeah.
I felt the knife. I felt the knife turn a little bit.
I felt like battle lines would be drawn last week.
I was
And a
waiting
lot
for
of
this
cats
moment
could.
because from the jump, it was absolutely insane that Drake would question Kendrick's LA ties, the West Coast's allegiance to Kendrick, like too much dip on your chip. Like, of course YG is gonna come out and pop out for this nigga. Like, what are we dealing with here?
Yeah.
You are Canadian. You got to remember that. You got to stay in your lane. You just have to. Like, really? You thought you was going to G-check Kendrick Lamar as an outsider in multiple ways.
Yeah.
Crazy business. But outside of, the Kendrick portion of the concert, I really loved having the local acts kind of open up for
Absolutely.
him.
That was great.
And give them that exposure.
Yeah.
I got put on to Jason Martin and Cuzzo's. Like, I was really vibing with their music.
I was really interested to see where, like
really
hopefully
getting into,
Cousins
like-
get some sort of
No,
boost
yeah.
off
I
this.
was like, they're hard. Like,
Yeah.
this is a really, really cool moment for West Coast music, especially because that still feels so insular in comparison to other regions. Like, they really have their sound, their style, and they don't really care, like, if anyone else embraces them.
Right.
But it was nice to, like, get a peek into that. I'm not familiar with, like, the dancers and the clowns and all of that stuff. And I got a little crash course on sort of West Coast culture. That was really, really dope to go into this Kendrick set that's folding in different songs from his catalog that are all, these sneak Drake disses throughout the way. You have Element in there, you got DNA in there, kind of recontextualizing songs like Euphoria and Not Like Us at the end. Like, shit was just amazing. I was on cloud 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I echo Kyle's point in particular. I think the staging of it in terms of like the way the program was set up. Because I know a lot of people at the beginning were kind of like, okay, how many friends? Where is this going?
got mad friends.
How long is it? Because I don't know if y'all saw, when I got on the Amazon stream, and I think I got on maybe like 10 minutes late, and I started scrolling, and I saw like they gave a 6-hour window for it, and maybe that's just what you got to do for live stream because you don't know how long it's gonna go. But when I saw 6 hours, I was like, okay, I like Kendrick. I don't know if I like 6 hours.
See, nigga like me had my drink poured. I was ready to go.
That's
4 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Look, and maybe this is also.
I had the Henny on deck.
No, I literally had the Henny on deck.
Were you grilling too? You said you were gonna be grilling last week.
Nah, my roommate wasn't in town, so we couldn't grill. But I did go into the liquor store. I got my Henny.
I was ready.
Very, very lit. Like, I can't even lie.
Ago,
I can't even lie, man. That was just too good. It was really funny though watching Dr. Dre pop out. It was like a really good example of just like how beautiful, but also how like tragic the irony is with hip hop politics that you bring out someone like Dr. Dre to introduce a song where you're calling this guy out for being an abuser and a pedophile, but it's like Dre's kind of king of all that shit.
I did see that.
Like,
see people kind of
shout out D Barnes, like shout out Michelet. We gotta also acknowledge that there's some sort of like wall that we hit when we try to bring morality into this. But that was a moment that was a little bit dissonant for me, and probably the only moment of dissonance, but a very stark one. But you also can't put on a West Coast celebration without including Dr. Dre. Like, he really is the ringleader of all of this. So it's like, what do you do with that one? But it's something that we do, need to acknowledge though.
No, great point. And to jump on that, I kind of thought it was interesting that we didn't see Snoop.
I was expecting Snoop to come.
We did not see Snoop, and I think he had kind of said it before. I think this was when Drake dropped the Tailor-Made freestyle, that he is just going to be simply neutral.
Right.
Like, both of them are his quote-unquote nephews. He was going to sit this one out. But you would think...
But we saw Snoop's ads.
I mean, you tell me...
He said that didn't juice
that
I did see that.
You could see I was like passion fruit, mango. Yeah. Okay.
I said, oh, you really are for the bag. Like, I really can't even front on you. Like, you really just are for the bag, Snoop. And that is what it is. Yeah. But would have loved to see him pop out there.
That would have been great.
Like,
that would have been great.
Cherry on top type shit.
I do want to pose you guys this question now. We will pivot on to Drake. Where does he go from here?
Who is he being?
Drake.
Well, the immediate answer is Camila Cabello. Do with that what you will. With them 2 new songs coming out.
Okay, that's probably just going to be a misfortunate timing.
No. If I'm Drake, because
you're not going to pull the songs off the album.
I'm pulling it off.
That's crazy.
I'm pulling it off.
Bro, they probably got that contract so ironclad.
2 days after the fact that you just got mutilated on that kind of platform, you're going to come with some bullshit? Some pop bullshit?
First of all, you don't know what kind of shit is coming. Don't give me that face. Don't give me that face.
We're gonna get a time. You act like we're gonna get a time. You act like we're gonna get a timestamp Drake on this Camila Cabello.
Well, absolutely. I mean, that would be, again, I'm a never say never kind of dude. That's very, very close to never gonna happen. But look, you can't. I mean, it's so different, and I think pop Drake and hip hop rap Drake are so 2 different Drakes that I don't think anyone's like expecting him to bury some diss in this record. Like, that's gonna live in the pop lane. That's a feature he's doing to help, I don't know, to help her out or whatever kind of.
Yeah, I'm not.
But I also don't think it'll be a good song. Yeah. Either of them. I don't think they'll be hits either. And we can run the tapes back if they do end up becoming hits.
It's not the records that's gonna save him. And
but I don't think. But it was never meant to save him.
Not save him, but at least you're like, oh, he still got some juice in him. Like, I'm not gonna lean on a Camila Cabello record.
I mean, what do you think about like the Sexy record that came out? Like, I mean, this is all
came and went.
Yeah, but I'm saying like,
it's a good record.
Okay, but I mean, like, it's not like this is Drake's first response to.
But you also got to remember this: the whole Juneteenth concert, that was really the proverbial like cherry on top to this whole feud.
Yeah,
like it wasn't Not Like Us. It was just the whole setup of last night. Mm-hmm. Hence why I believe I would not drop anything.
But see, let's flip the script. Now that this is already out there, announced 2 Drake songs, and now you go and pull them?
Absolutely.
What does that look like?
My career is more important than Camila Cabello.
But what does that look like now? That is like...
he got me.
That Drake is running...
He got me.
So what?
He got me.
So which one do you think is worse?
If I'm Drake, but he's a nice guy, I wouldn't give a fuck about the Camila Cabello records.
But that
I'll be like, yo, you know what?
Doesn't that look even worse?
Listen, I know you're gonna drop a deluxe. Wait for the deluxe.
This is a fair point.
Wait for the deluxe.
Why is that
I just got publicly humiliated
on Juneteenth. We don't even know.
Just give him a little bit of breathing room.
I need some time.
But you don't think it would look crazier for Drake to like act like now, a day before, or was I guess
crazy
that was
to
next
who?
week?
Crazy to who?
Just like as a like Drake
he already looks crazy. So
right.
it's like
I'm saying
crazy to who?
But do you like you know that when that little Pop Crave tweet comes out that Drake has removed his 2 songs, you know
fuck
that
Pop Crave, man.
It's not about fuck Pop Crave. It's when that story comes out that like you was to the point where you actively like took your own things away. Like it got you. You just let it. It's gonna come out. Everyone's expecting it. You just let it rock. If they're hits, they're hits. If they're features, there are plenty of Drake songs that have Drake features that did not become hits. It's not like this is gonna be, this is gonna kill his legacy or he stumbled or damn, that's the first one in 7 years. And
to your point, because the records, they are inevitable. They're coming on Friday. Fine, nothing we could do about that. After that, and I said it earlier, I would just go on a hiatus for the rest of the year. That's it, because no matter how fire of a record or a verse he drops next, he's going to be scrutinized to the max. They're going to pick him apart just because Kendrick bodied him the way Kendrick bodied him. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to buy any kind of win this year.
So now to devil's advocate that, like, whenever Drake comes back out, if it's in 3 weeks, 6 months, 8 years, the first response is always going to be, okay,
take your time with it.
Here it is. So in some ways, I get the idea. Like, maybe you don't rush it, but I don't think you necessarily run from it. Like,
yeah, you don't run from it. I'm just saying you need to take time off of the next 6 months, work on the next album, because the next album he drops, it needs to be the best album of his life. Like, I think Drake is actually in an advantageous position, and I've said this because I think this could be the redemption arc that revitalizes how the culture. He's fine in mainstream America because the next record he drops, a solo record, it could go top 5, top 3 just because of curiosity, even number 1.
Not Drake got to drop his Midnights next.
Like. But the critical acclaim of it, cats are gonna rip it apart. So take this time to be with your kid, enjoy your money, strategize, figure out your game plan, come back 2025. That's what I think.
I've been saying this since like Dark Lane demo tapes. I think that he needs to just take some time to chill because the music got stale. His approach got stale. He was still getting hits. He was still cranking out numbers, but it didn't feel the same way that it felt, 2016 and prior. Like, it felt like he was hitting a wall creatively for a minute now. Take some time, maybe even go back into acting a little bit, get back into your producing bag even more, come back to music after a couple months, maybe a year or two, because you can afford to do that. You're one of the few people who don't need to assault us with music every 3 months, even though you seem to want to do so regardless. But just take some time and come back on your own terms, on your own pace, and he'll be fine. Like, because Drake is very capable of making good music and making great albums. He should
just run that back and read between the lines and tell me what he was going to say.
It's a cleanup for me.
Wow.
Listen, I want to get hit by Aubrey's Angels. So.
But the last 10 minutes won't. That one line will do it.
The last 10 minutes. I don't know.
I don't know how I got to be the defense attorney, but
I will. I was thinking about this. I don't know where you guys stand with this, and it may be a little too early to say this, but I think Kendrick solidified that whole Big 3 debate last night to me. I think he is top 1. And I think now it's undisputed.
Nigga like me never disputed it. But
and this is coming as a Drake super fan. Like, I can acknowledge that was the bow to like just close that whole discussion out.
Yeah, there really was something about it's weird to say that Kendrick was missing something because he, of course, had plenty of critical acclaim. He got, everybody loves him. He got Grammys. He's got a lot of, chart numbers, act like things do well. But it did feel like, I guess he never had that one gravity moment that like he was the soul center of and everybody responded to it. And I think in particular, of course, streaming something like that, could have had the concert fine and it would have, we would have heard about it. We would have got tapes or whatever. But to, put it on the holiday, put it on Juneteenth, bring out everybody, make sure that it's live. And also, I mean, I don't know if I need to give a shout out to Amazon, but the fact that the stream did not crash, there was no delay, like everything was high def. I was like, I don't know, Netflix, the rest, they got to catch up.
Angles, different shots, the edits on the wop. I say, this is quality.
That one little 10-second clip is like that lives rent free. Like I'm gonna
crazy.
Like I don't know whoever directed that shit. Emmy, give it to him.
We were just talking about that. It could be an Emmy.
That is. But yeah, but for that moment, like where he just solely commanded just the whole culture for a night was, and then that just really was the cherry on top.
I'm trying to think the last time it felt like Kendrick really owned a culture moment by himself, and it feels like Humble to me, and the Damn era, because I kind of want to say Black Panther too, but that's obviously shared with the movie, the other artists on the album, etc. But it kind of has been a minute, by virtue of that, it's like kind of the music that he makes, so it's like. It's not always fine-tuned to have those moments, but to create one like that last night, and also just from a performance aspect, like if there was ever a debate about who is like one of the best live performers of rap, like outside of like Tyler, Kendrick was ridiculous last night. The breath control was fantastic. Even when he was fumbling lyrics, he was able to get right back on beat and like just kill it. Like even when he just let the crowd rap for him, like that in itself felt like a freaking like emperor moment. Like
I mean, the way they held that A minor, like,
talking about like, choir practice in that, that was like, crazy.
To your point about like the breath control, like to do something like a very new record like Euphoria, that's the first time you're doing that record, and it's 6-7 minutes,
and you're opening type shit with that.
That's crazy.
And knowing that if you stumble, the snipers are gonna be ready.
And if you stumble on that one, the whole stream is kind of like gone because you open up with this diss track that went number 3 on the charts, like tons of acclaim. It's a really amazing record. You can't fuck it up. And even when he did stumble a little bit, it didn't matter because the crowd was rapping over him.
Even then, 3 different beat switches. That kind of breath control is. He's otherworldly, man.
He didn't take no sips of water. Like that man
didn't.
Talking about push-ups. Okay. Did his push-ups.
I did see. I think it was Low Key who sort of was the first one I saw talk about this, but the fact that it obviously was Kendrick centered, but the whole West Coast coming together, I mean, that cannot be understated. And I think, it's you sort of always get nervous when you put this kind of thing out there, but to see other regions, if they could sort of replicate that kind of thing.
Everyone steal this idea. Just steal it.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's like, because you don't want to rush it, and you don't want to, don't get a half-ass lineup. Do it right. Take your time. I don't know if it becomes sort of a Juneteenth thing going forward, or whenever people feel like tough. The right time is. But I mean, obviously the East Coast, New York centric could have their own.
We got too much ego out here, man.
You think it beats?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't even know who would be the artist.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't know who would be the artist to be.
It's crazy because the artist who would have been Pop.
Yeah.
Pop would have been the nigga.
I think so.
Together.
It's a good call.
But still, you could have. I mean, somebody East Coast. You got Chicago, Midwest. Down south gets a little tricky because everybody want to put their own city, Memphis, New Orleans, Atlanta.
I would say let them do it.
Atlanta,
let's get hyper regional.
Nola
got Mad Motion right now. Houston got their shit. Atlanta always got their shit. Like it's as many Juneteenths as the world keeps turning. So
Juneteenth ain't running out anytime soon.
You know who I think would be able to pull? I mean, I think Future could do it, but in Atlanta, I think if Thug was out, I think Thug could do it.
Ooh, that could be a good.
Everybody outside.
I mean, his coming home concert.
I was gonna say, especially like a post release kind of
Because didn't Guap did something when he came out? I think.
I feel like I remember.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I feel like Thug, knowing the magnitude of this case,
certainly. I mean, that would get everybody past present.
Right.
In the mix. Wow.
Yeah. But no, shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to Kendrick Lamar. What a time it was last night to be alive. We're going to pivot.
First of all, that's Drake. He had to give Drake he had to give Drake the last line.
I know it got caught.
Somebody play Not Like Us real quick.
Let me let him live.
I still got to run for my king. You know what I mean? For my brother. But Verzuz is apparently back in the mix. It had locked in a distribution partnership with Elon Musk's X. Verzuz is back. And pretty much this is going to allow them to have 100% of ownership and creative control of the platform, while X has exclusive distribution rights. So viewers will be able to watch the live stream series for free through X. How do we feel about Verzuz being back? Do we care?
Okay. First off, this is to my point about Amazon. I ain't never seen them Twitter X streams work the way that they, there's always some bullshit. There's always something going. And so just on a tech level, like X and Amazon are that's a whole nother beef level that's coming because Amazon set the bar last night. Look, with Verzuz, I mean, there's really two things that in my mind stopped the momentum of Verzuz. One obviously is the pandemic eased up, so people were back outside. People weren't really looking at their screens on Friday night like that, Saturday night like that. The collective just disappeared. But the other problem that they had is, as far as we know, a lot of the people, either the people who had the catalog either had done it, or the people who had the catalog who we felt we wanted to see do it weren't going to do it. Mariah, Janet, Missy, Usher. Rihanna, Usher, JT, Chris. Jay was on that Twitter Spaces one time, I think back when it was called Twitter Spaces. And he, was talking, and they asked point blank, are you going to do it? And he was like, no, because, it's like, who can compete, really? Yeah. There's records that I haven't even done live that, for me to pick 20 songs, I'll bury anybody. Yeah, he didn't say it quite that heavy, but, Jay had the humble filter on, but that's what he meant. So I'm curious if it's just going to be a music thing, who or what they're going to do. I know there were some rumors back that they would expand beyond just R&B and hip hop. I think they did. One time they did like a Benny Blanco. They did a pop-ish one. Yeah. But they could. I mean, pop, country. I don't know. That of course already gets thorny because people are gonna feel like that was our thing. Versus was a very black space, black oriented. So to make it, everybody jumps in. That's already gonna be a problem. Yeah. And then if they do expand, I think there's also talk that they would expand beyond just music and do versus
comedy, versus sports.
And I'm kind of wondering what that looks like because
it's a bit ambitious.
Like, I'm trying to think if it's like versus movies. Are we gonna watch? Like, are we about to have like Angela Bassett versus Taraji P Henson and
scene versus scene?
Watch, the waiting to exhale versus the the partner you want to touch,
not Hidden Figures.
I'm just trying to like.
I was thinking Angela. What was the American Dream? The Jackson.
Oh, you was alive. And I don't want
the lip quiver. Yeah, that's an Oscar right there.
I've been really over Verzuz since it became branded as Verzuz, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, for me, the charm of it was these janky-ass Instagram live streams, like, niggas just, like, playing records back and forth, giving the stories behind them before it became, like, this is a thing, this is a competition, this is now a performance thing. I'm going to get at this venue and do this and do that. It became, like, super commercialized and super corporatized in a way that kind of stripped just the love of the game out of it for me. I think what could be effective is looking into like the live sector for Verzuz. Like, a lot of the artists that were on Verzuz probably can't mount like arena tours by themselves right now. But if it was under the Verzuz branding and it was like Jill Scott and Erykah Badu go on tour together, like as a sequel to that, like, that could be something that I'm interested in. I like that. And they could live stream those concerts. I feel like that's more effective than trying to get an already dwindling pool of artists who haven't done it and will want to do it to live up to what we remembered Verzuz to be. But then again, so much of Verzuz was the pandemic. Like, it was that cause and effect thing. We're not in that stage anymore. So the way we engage with it will be different fundamentally.
I do feel like, to your point, I was thinking about the movie thing as I was turning over my head. And I guess exactly to your point about the live thing, like, I don't know how that movie idea translates on a live stream. But if they had, if they brought Angela and Taraji to a theater and it was, like y'all come and like talk to them live, Q&A, play whatever back and forth, stories behind this movie, y'all don't know this, and like,
I'd buy tickets
I would be
yesterday.
I would be there for that. If it's sports, I mean, obviously if you can get two legends in the same city, or whether it's basketball, football, whatever, like, you could probably work with that. I know maybe the scale of that might be tough, obviously, because you just partnered with X, and I'm sure they want something that's going to go global and worldwide. But I do think that local element actually could be a real cool part of it.
Yeah.
To y'all point, what would be the one battle to kind of, I guess, revitalize Verzuz? If they had to have one battle to kick it back off, what would you guys want to see?
I kind of want to see
Kendrick in the same room. I'm playing.
I want to see Jay and Wayne.
I
feel like they both got ridiculous catalogs that just go on forever, like cross decades type shit.
Yeah,
that would be really cool to watch. and get to involve different regions of the country type shit too.
Okay. I like that.
I mean, I definitely have been looking for something. It's tough because I don't know if it's Mariah Janet or Mariah Mary, but Mariah somebody I feel like I do want to see. And it's weird because I guess the first half feels more Janet, maybe esque, and the second half.
I feel like Mariah Mary's the way to go.
But
they also both got that New York hip hop connection too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think
the cattiness in that stream.
That's my shit.
I mean, look.
I'm all for that.
Cattiness in that stream.
Very subtle shade.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And I mean, they've crossed with a lot of the same people, and yeah. I mean, I think like that's kind of like two heavyweights to that, and especially because nobody thought they were ever going to do it, and you know, it'd be maybe an ego check for them to even show up, and it feels like even the backstory of who showed up first and who got the what dress, it could be a thing.
If we could get Brandy and Monica, we can do them. I feel like
we had Brandy and Monica
exactly. If we could have gotten that, then we can't get that. It would be cool to see like a. Not necessarily a versus competition, but just like here are some records back and forth thing with like the Young Money guys, just Drake and Nicki just go back and forth. That'll be great for social and kind of just like revitalize verses in like the mainstream type thing.
Yeah.
But the two of them.
I mean, also, I guess it's playing out in the hair space. Beyonce, Rihanna. Look, there's subtle back and forth.
Sacred versus Fenty hair.
That's what people are kind of, they think they already think they're sending subtle shots across the aisle to each other.
Have two like salons just like going back and forth.
You got 20 minutes, like do a press, do a wash, do a
I would watch that low key.
I would probably go for Chris and Usher. Especially, just coming off seeing Chris's show, and it's just a reminder of like what he's been able to do the last 15 years. Like the records still hold, and they still hold very, very strong. And then obviously Usher having arguably the best year of his career, doing the Super Bowl, having a moment.
I mean, 2004 was like a word, but
yeah. I mean, listen,
don't forget about me.
Yeah, can't forget about that. But having this kind of resurgence for him this year, it's been really good. So I'll probably be the matchup I would.
Do you think Chris Usher is not too, father son kind of like?
I'm about to say,
I kind of feel like that with Jay and Wayne.
Yeah,
I mean that is.
That's why I was like, I can't even really fault you for that one.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Usher did say a while back that people are trying to throw out names, and the one that he seemed to bite with was JT.
I'm about to say it would be JT.
JT out here sipping, man. So
hey,
now
B-double-U-I.
Well, yes, JT will need we'll get him an Uber to and from the venue, so we ain't got to worry about that part.
Yeah.
But when you think about Chris's catalog, and even Usher's catalog, I think people forget that when he wasn't necessarily on top, he was still able to sneak out top 20 hits, top 25 hits. Like it wasn't like he just died off. I will sing the gospel
of Good Kisser till the day that I die. Okay, that's a record right there.
Hey, man,
I mean, that Good Kisser, I Don't Mind, all that kind of stuff in there. That
even when he was in his dance era, man.
Yeah,
some of my favorite dance songs are those Usher tracks.
Yeah,
my God,
she was
Scream,
Love,
all that kind.
Too
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I'd love to see it. We are now at the halfway point of 2024.
Yes, sir.
Which is crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of great albums come out this year. So I'm curious to hear some of y'all favorites on the hip-hop R&B side, which y'all been bumping the most, who's been sitting at the top of y'all list.
I'm going to start with Schoolboy Q.
Okay.
Blue Lips.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in terms of rap, that's probably the one that I played the most outside of the Future Metro, the first one. I don't really play the second one as much, but We Don't Trust You, I play a lot too. Those are the two big rap ones for me this year.
You wasn't too crazy about the second one?
The second one kind of felt too bloated and kind of just like y'all weren't saying much that wasn't already said on the first one. There are some songs that I do like on there. I like Ride For You a lot because I really fuck with that sample. But other than that, I really prefer the first one.
Yeah, I feel like with that album, they were trying to recapture the magic of Hendrix.
Yeah.
And it just
kind of one more trap focus, one more, a little more melodic. And
I wish they went more melodic on the second one.
Right.
Like really dug into like the R&B future. That's what I thought it was marketed as like initially, and then it just became like this is a sequel. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, and I think it also, I mean, yeah, to your point, I think it definitely seemed like almost a too soon 1-2. I don't know if perhaps what happened with Like That threw off everything that, you know, that record became so much bigger than anything they probably could have expected. And certainly, I mean, yesterday, and we still see the remnants of it. But yeah, that might have thrown off, I think, the market. And of course, they were smart to capture the hype of it. But even on the charts, you can see that, We Don't Trust You is still definitely the one that's floating. There really wasn't a hit single the second time around. I know maybe some cats even thought they'd find another number one after that, but you can definitely tell like which one the people fuck with more and which one is, just kind of hanging there.
What about you, Trev?
For me, I definitely want to give a shout out to the Bryson Tiller album.
Great album.
Because I think,
Great album.
A little long. I mean, it's about 19 tracks, but I could, we could always cut a couple. But I think, just particularly, not only the album itself. I mean, Calypso is great. I think Persuasion is great.
Persuasion's so hard.
Whatever She Wants is, I think, like, for that especially to be the comeback song, I would have never expected it. I think that is one of the best songs of the year, like hands down. And especially given where Bryson was in his career, I think a lot of people weren't sure, if he could have a moment like this, and particularly with the song to do with a rap record.
Right.
I was like, yo. And then of course, I wasn't sure, okay, where's the album gonna go? Album of course leans more R&B, but just even the different sounds in there, like,
a dance record on there.
Yeah, I mean,
there was
I
some
think
Jersey on there too.
Yeah, so I really like what he did with that.
I thought Chow was probably like my favorite record on that too.
Yeah.
You brought up Bryson. I gotta give a shout out to Party Next Door, man.
Oh, yeah.
Those two guys, man, because people were writing them off.
Yeah.
Saying they were cooked, and they both came out with really dope projects this year. I gotta say, I love Thames' new album, Born in the Wild. Yeah. I've been playing that recently. I thought it was Burning is my joint, Gangsta's my joint. I know Kyle, I know you wasn't crazy about Gunna, man, but that Gunna album, man,
I'm a big Gunna guy. This new album I thought was just fine.
Okay.
Like, it's not, I don't hate it. I don't love it as much as I love the last one. But, it's solid. He always puts out, like, a solid body of work for me. So.
Yeah, based off the last one and the reception with, like, Fuck You Mean and all that, I thought it would have a little more, bigger. 101 does seem to be coming up, though. Like, I mean, the song itself. So we'll see, if that finds a second hit. But it does, I think kind of the public vibe is kind of maybe where Kyle is leaning. In general,
but shout out Glorilla. That mixtape is really hard.
Glow,
man, that's another one they tried to write off, man.
They know,
Glow.
The girls and the guys were coming back this year. They said we still got something to say.
That's
Cause she came out with that cha-cha bullshit, and I thought it was, and she said it too. She was like, "Yo, everybody thought I was cooked."
Well, that's the thing. That was an ass song.
But it's
the Money
Back
record wasn't good either. No. On What You Want.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's funny?
Wasn't good either. I was like, "What you doing?"
That record had a little moment. It had a little. At least the video gave it a little.
Yeah, the moment was damn. This is so funny. This is so bad. Let's laugh at it. I mean, it was like the grippy moment.
Jeez, that's nasty.
Well, Glow has quickly recovered with multiple.
Glow. Wannabe. Song of the summer right there. That's so hard.
I think she just put out the TGIF.
It's coming out
tomorrow.
Okay. Tonight.
We got a lot more music coming. Kaylani's dropping.
Kaylani's what, tomorrow?
Tomorrow. 21st? Megan Thee Stallion next week.
Lucky Day next week.
Lotto and Ice next month.
There's probably somebody in there that's gonna drop a surprise real quick. We don't even, It's gonna be a crowded landscape.
You never know. K-Dot might.
Come on, I don't know. Summer album, I need that.
I did see a rumor, that he's shooting a Not Like Us video.
I did see that also
on Saturday.
I was talking to somebody and they do we need a video for this? Like,
I would have. So the performance aspect should have been the video to me.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to film the video.
That's what I thought.
Last night.
Right.
But then they were talking about Saturday they're going to film the video. If we get like a different mix, or we actually get a remix along with the video, or we get like new lines, like he was dropping new lines during the live performance, I can stomach a video. I think he has enough goodwill that the video won't feel like overkill. But I think after the video, it's like, okay.
All right.
Now let's wrap it up.
But I do feel like the video has to elevate. Like,
luckily his track record.
The way it's going, everything is going up. So you gotta,
gotta trust him.
You gotta,
Yeah. Well, that's it for us this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Billboard Unfiltered. See you next week.